Good morning, Team McAuliffe. Today is Thursday, March 20th, 2025, and we will now begin our day together with morning announcements. Please stand quietly and respectfully for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now have a moment of silence to think about what we are going to do today to help make the McAuliffe School a peaceful and happy learning place for all students and staff. Okay, so we have no student birthdays today, but we do have a staff birthday. It is one of our tutors, Miss Barr's birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Barr. I hope that you have a great day today. Some announcements about tomorrow. Staff, don't forget that we have our Staff St. Patrick's Day breakfast happening tomorrow morning at 8:15 in the cafeteria. If you want to sign up to bring something, check out the sign-up sheet in the week ahead. Everybody's welcome to come. Hope to see all of our staff out there. Don't forget, it is World Down Syndrome Day tomorrow, and we're going to celebrate by wearing mismatched socks. That's how we are going to celebrate the uniqueness and abilities inside all of us. Wear those mismatched socks to school tomorrow. It's also our McAuliffe mix-up, and students, you're going to get a chance to share your vision boards with your mentors in your mentor classrooms. Bring those along. That's happening at 2:30. I can't wait to see some of those vision boards and hear how you're doing on achieving the goals that you set for yourself. Now we need to get down to business with March Book Madness. We have two more books going head-to-head today on the other side of the bracket. These two are facing off against each other. The first one is being read by some of our social worker friends at Lowell High School, and it's called Harold the Iceberg Melts Down. Let's see if you can figure out why the social workers are the ones reading it.
Hi, my name is Hadassah Kilban, and I am in the 12th grade at Lowell High School, and I am a member of the TV Production Club. I would like to introduce to you three very important members of our Lowell High School community: Mrs. Gina Martell, Mrs. Maureen Swartz, and Mrs. Amanda Hosmer, who are all social workers. Our social workers meet with students who might be needing some extra social emotional support, or if they are experiencing some big feelings. Today, these Lowell High School workers will be reading Harold the Iceberg Melts Down, written by Lisa Weislick and illustrated by Rebecca Syracuse. Enjoy, and remember, in Lowell, books always win.
Hi, we're the Lowell High School social workers. I'm Mrs. Schwartz.
I'm Mrs. Martell.
And I'm Mrs. Hosmer.
Today we are going to read Harold the Iceberg Melts Down, written by Lisa Weislick, illustrated by Rebecca Syracuse.
Harold was a head of lettuce, a head of iceberg lettuce to be exact. Harold often spent his days worrying. He worried about small things. What is that? He worried about big things. What is that? In fact, Harold tended to worry about everything. Harold liked to watch documentaries to help manage his worries. Learning helped him understand things, and understanding helped him feel like he didn't need to worry. But then he watched one that didn't help ease his worries. Instead, it left him very concerned. Friends, I am very concerned. I watched a documentary about icebergs. I'm an iceberg, see? It was very educational. I learned that I am very old and wise, mostly a below-the-surface kind of berg. And I'm super majestic and beautiful. I could probably win a contest. Though they didn't really talk about how I ended up in a fridge. At first, the other food in the fridge didn't mind Harold's rambling. Sometimes he just needed to talk his worries out, and his friends were there to listen. But then things started to get a little out of hand. But the most important thing I learned, did you know the icebergs are melting at an alarming rate? Harold? The icebergs in the documentary were very large, and I am very small. That means I'm melting much faster than they are. That's why I'm small. It's already started. What do? I need to stop melting. The freezer, that will slow it down. Unfortunately, that way was blocked. Okay, plan B. I will go to the fridge. The very back of the fridge. Maybe it's colder there? It was a little colder, but it was also dark and lonely, and a little bit sticky. Maybe I just need a disguise. Then the warmth won't be able to find me. Hey, Harold, why don't you drink some water? What am I going to do? Are all icebergs just doomed to melt away? Why didn't the documentary tell me how to survive longer?
His friends kept trying to help. Let's count to 10 together, Harold. But Harold was so focused on his impending doom that they couldn't get through to him. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no! It's starting! This is the end! Harold? Yes? Would you like to try blowing some bubbles with us? Harold? You're ahead of iceberg lettuce. Lettuce doesn't melt. But, oh, that's good news, right? You're not melting. Harold was quiet for a moment. But there are real icebergs melting still? Oh, well, yes. My cousins! Icebergs still melting. What are we doing to help them? No one had an answer for Harold. It was such a big problem, and they were so little. How could they make a difference? Although Harold was still worried, he took a deep breath, counted to 10, and thought up a plan. Save the planet. Keep it cool. No planet B. Save our bergs. The end.
Harold's tips for cooling down. Did you know that the methods my friends use to try to help me calm down are real tips that you can use when your feelings get too big? Here is a list of ideas for the next time you feel a meltdown coming on. Count to 10 slowly. Try saying 1 head of lettuce, 2 heads of lettuce, 3 heads of lettuce, and so on. Blow bubbles. Squish some putty or clay. Imagine your worries are being smooshed into the clay. Do some wall push-ups. How many do you think you can do? Have a dance party. Yell really loudly if the situation allows you. Exercise. Do some jumping jacks. Run, get some fresh air.
Thanks so much for reading Harold the Iceberg Melts Down with us today. We're so glad that you joined us.
We hope you enjoyed the book.
And don't forget to visit your school social worker the next time you're melting down.
Okay, so there you have it. Harold the Iceberg melts down, and it is going up against the book that almost rhymed. And this one's a cool one because it's about an annoying sibling who keeps on interrupting. And it's being read by the assistant principal, one of the assistant principals at Lowell High School, Miss Haley, and the head of school, Mr. Fiato. Check it out.
Hi, it's Lisa, the Vice President of the Student Voice and Social Media Club here at LHS. And I'm here to introduce you to our next book, The Book That Almost Rhymed by Omar Abed and illustrated by Hatim Ali. This reading team is excited to share this book with you. Welcome Ms. Haley, one of our assistant principals, and Mr. Fiato, the head of Lowell High School, whom you may have heard of in his viral Week Ahead videos. Remember in Lowell, books always win.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Haley, and I'm one of the assistant principals here at Lowell High School. I'm joined today by my friend,
Mike Fiato, and I'm the head of school at Lowell High School.
Today we're going to be reading The Book That Almost Rhymed, written by Omar Abed and illustrated by Hatim Ali. We really hope you like this book as much as we do.
The other day I wrote this book. You won't believe how long it took. It rhymed, and I was super proud. It sounded great when read aloud. But then my sister came along. And now the story sounds all wrong.
Better!
As I was saying, my sister took a crayon in hand and did something I cannot stand. She ruined every rhyming verse. And now my story sounds much...
More magnificent.
As I was saying, I wrote a smooth and seamless story about a brave knight's quest for glory. He yearned for treasure all his own, and so he journeyed
alongside a fierce and friendly detective.
Fine. She tagged along to join the action, but mostly was a huge
A helpful new perspective.
Right. But they lost the treasure map. They searched for any trace or scrap. At least they knew just where to look and found it folded in
his pocket.
Of course. Finally, the knight could lead. They rode upon his noble
rocket.
But that doesn't make it... Whatever. They searched for treasure out in space, but never found the slightest trace. The crew stranded, empty-handed, returned to Earth, and safely...
did a flip.
Yikes. The rocket spun with such commotion, then it crashed into the ocean. But our heroes stayed afloat and climbed aboard a passing...
pirate ship.
Oh no! The deck they faced a frightful sight. The pirates were prepared to...
dance!
Seriously?
Yeah.
So after the dance, the pirates offered them a lift and in return asked for a gift. With nothing else to trade on board, the knight gave up his gleaming...
pants.
You can't be serious. Okay. So, the knight wore borrowed pantaloons, and they approached the sandy dunes. At last, they reached the treasure chest, but something blocked them from their quest. The fiercest beast you could imagine, a ferocious, fire-breathing...
armadillo.
You've got to be kidding me. The mighty monster drew a breath to spew a flaming plume of death, but the knight and the sleuth would not yield. They knelt behind his tiny...
pillow.
Seriously? This makes no sense, guys. A pillow provides no defense. That's it. Did you see what I mean? You've ruined every rhyming scene. Knights carry shields, not fluffy pillows. Dragons breathe fire, not armadillos. And why would the knight trade his pants? Have you ever seen pirates dance? The boat was not a pirate ship, but that safely landed, skipped a flip. And knights ride noble steeds, not rockets. The map was not tucked in his pocket. He didn't want a new perspective. He had no need for the detective. Hang on. I see what's happening here. Your words did rhyme. This time it's clear.
I just wanted to sound like you, to rhyme and talk the way you do, to learn all of the words you know, and make mine go the way yours flow.
Look at that. At last I see you're a rhythmic, rhyming prodigy. In fact, when we work together, we make our story even better. But wait, there's still a problem left to solve. Our hero's fate is unresolved. They're trapped in quite a sticky spot.
Well, I have a wild thought. What if the knight tossed the pillow?
To distract the armadillo and curled himself into a ball.
And crashed down into a mighty fall.
The heroes rolled the beast away. Then the brave detective tickled.
So the beast giggled and wiggled. And that was how they saved the day.
They grabbed the chest, undid the flags, and found inside...
more treasure maps!
Well, it wasn't quite what I intended, but that was how our story...
got started.
Exactly! They grabbed the new map from the chest
and set off on a brand new quest. I love this story. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Remember, in Lowell, books always win.
So that's the next two books in March Book Madness. Next week, you're going to vote for which one you liked better. Was it Harold the Iceberg Melts Down or the book that almost rhymed? We'll find out which one is moving on to the next round in March Book Madness. I think that's all of our announcements for today. Remember, McAuliffe students are stars. That means we strive to do our best. We take responsibility. We're always positive and kind, and we respect ourselves and others. If everybody remembers to be a star today, then we'll have a thrilling Thursday. Have a great day, McAuliffe School.